Okay, for Earth Day, I'm going to read a letter I should have, I wrote to Senators Durbin and Mark Kirk. I visited my daughter in Washington, D.C., and I missed a great opportunity to, they have every other Thursday, they provide coffee and donuts and listen to what the Illinois constituents have to say. Anyway, they start out with a 14-year-old boy named Jared who had asked for diabetes research. We heard about human slavery and from these people with bicycle lapel pins pushing bicycle tracks. Anyway, I introduced myself as, at the end they let regular people talk, not just the people with agendas, and I wasn't really prepared. Anyway, I introduced myself as a retired biology teacher and asked about their subsidizing of fossil fuels and solar panels. And they answered with, about different bills with different numbers. And then I realized that I had blew my chance for giving a really good, powerful answer, especially since I had a chance of I had a copy of The Sixth Extinction by Elizabeth Colbert. Anyway, this is a book I was reading, and I had all these shocking statistics in my head. Anyway, at the end they give you a photograph. So here's Senator Durbin, me in the book, and my daughter, and Senator Kirk. What I should have said, that the present concentration of carbon dioxide is 400 parts per million. And the last time it was this high, was 800,000 years ago. So this is like 0.04% of the atmosphere, and we breathe out carbon dioxide, and it doesn't seem like a big deal. But for our little planet, it is a greenhouse gas, and if we didn't have carbon dioxide, it would be frozen like the moon. But so that regular greenhouse effect is good. What is bad is the enhanced greenhouse effect. And if we keep continuing emitting carbon at this rate, we will be at 500 parts per million by 2050, and that hasn't happened in millions of years. Anyway, to get to this carbon dioxide concentration, we've burned about half of the fossil fuels on the planet since about 1800. The concentration we peak at depends upon how fast we burn what's left and how much of what we leave in the ground is left. Anyway, it's not just, the carbon dioxide just isn't heating up the planet. About a third of it dissolves in the ocean, which is scarier to me, even scarier to me, because it makes carbonic acid, which reacts with the calcium in the ocean, and the oceans are about 30% more acidic than in 1800 when we got the Industrial Revolution got going, burning fossil fuels. Anyway, the carbonic acid grabs the calcium needed by many sea organisms like crustaceans, seaweeds, microscopic organisms. At a certain pH they die, or they don't have the calcium. Anyway, about a third of the diverse, beautiful coral reefs we have are already dead, and by 2050 they will probably be the first ecosystem destroyed. It's like the Great Barrier Reef around Australia. Anyway, carbon dioxide affects both the pH and the temperature, and every enzyme has an optimum pH and temperature at which they work at. If ocean acidification shuts down the photosynthesis done by the phytoplankton, we will lose about half of the oxygen made for our planet. So many people do not understand that. They think the planet just to get warmer. But anyway, what I wanted to talk mainly about was the extinction stuff. Normally biological systems are very stable. Nothing happens for millions and millions of years, and then there's brief periods of terror. There's been 5 extinctions, the last being 65 million years ago with the asteroid. But normally, extinctions are very rare, usually every several hundred years. Today, about 8 species a day go extinct, and they're going extinct before we can even name them. There's many reasons for this. Global warming and ocean acidification are only 2 of them. But they're both caused by fossil fuel burning. It's estimated about a quarter of the mammals will go extinct if we keep going the way we are. About a third of the sharks and the rays, a fifth of the reptiles, and a sixth of the birds. There's only about 5,500 mammal species, the organisms with hair and milk, so losing a quarter is a huge loss. The world would be much poorer without all of these species. What we are emitting now directly limits the biodiversity of the future and impacts the human experience forevermore. So it's a very inconvenient truth because our economy is based on fossil fuels. Everything we do, anything you grab or look at or whatever, it has fossil fuels. It took fossil fuels, burning them to get them. Anyway, but since extinction is so permanent, and many people, it's an inconvenient truth all the way around for the economy, and because many people think God's creation shouldn't be destroyed by man, among just common, sense that it's bad to be making species go extinct. Anyway, the fossil fuel companies have done an excellent job at creating doubt about the climate scientists' work. This is what the tobacco companies did with their cancer data, and if reality is what most people agree upon, most people agree is something is there, it's there. Over 90% of the climate scientists, it might be 98%, believe that burning a fossil fuel is causing the increase in global warming and climate change and all of that stuff. So the probability is like, 1 in 1,000, or it's even less than that, burning fossil fuel is not the cause of climate change. Anyway, it's rock solid science. People are saying they're not scientists and all of this stuff, that it's not. The science is solid. And this is the same science that got us to the moon, got us, good medicine, all the great technologies that we have. Using the scientific method, these people have spent their entire lives looking at the gases and the data and the fossil records, and so the science is solid. So what do we do about this? And what I was trying to ask the senators to do was to cut subsidies to the fossil fuel companies. They're holding the true wealth of the planet, and they don't really need help for starters. So it's supposed to be a capitalistic system, so subsidizing something that isn't needed is not good. Anyway, at the very least, let the market set the price, and don't let the fossil fuel companies set the rate of extraction, because they'll get the most out the quickest, because they want the most money as fast as they can. This is wasteful. Anyway, conserve what we have left, so stop wasting it. For example, fracking oil wells release natural gas, and that's routinely burned off. Especially when oil is like $100 a barrel, they'll burn off tons of natural gas. They call it flaring, and the government shouldn't allow it just to happen. At least use it for electrical generation. Taxing or banning disposable plastic will keep it out of the landfills and ultimately out of the water, especially the ocean. They can't find a place in the ocean where there's these little micro beads of plastic that It is it mimics endocrines. Anyway, disposable plastic has to come to an end. Anyway, recycling can be encouraged or forced by the government, taxed according to how recyclable products are. The present system sends the average Walmart contents to a landfill in 15 months. There's a video online and a book called The Story of Stuff. And I've seen this lady talk at the U of I. Her name is Annie Leonard. Anyway, you can, there's another book, I don't have it to hold up, but it's called Cradle to Cradle. And there's ways to manufacture products so that they don't end up in landfills. They go back into the stream of, and this is mimicking Mother Nature's way. They have a name for it. It's called biomimetics. So, and the Europeans do this pretty regularly, and it saves carbon emissions and raw emissions. So high quality durable goods are the objective. BMW cars are made to be disassembled. Their new car can be 95% recycled. Anyway, wasting is just not part of the normal American ethic until lately, last 40, 50 years after World War II. It was how we got the economy going, put people to work. Anyway, many consider it a sin. My mom sure did. Anyway, it's just not right or smart to be wasting. In today's paper, that had a story of local companies that were in a contest because of Earth Day. And with very little effort, it was Kraft and Plastipac and companies like that. They kept hundreds of millions of tons of stuff out of landfills. So all of that represents carbon that stays out of the atmosphere and out of the ocean, and that's what I'm jabbering about. Okay, now as a biology teacher, I never thought I would say this, but the only thing I can see that will make a difference in replacing fossil fuels is nuclear power. And there's no other power source that can be brought to scale in time to make a difference to the number of species that are going to go extinct, or for the acid that's going to go in the oceans. The new reactors are safer and cheaper. They last about 60 years, so hopefully by then we will have gotten sync with the way Mother Nature does things. Spilling radioactive isotopes is not likely to cause any one species to go extinct. But France gets 77% of its electricity from nukes. China is building 28 nuclear plants. We are building 2. So the countries that race to nukes will be in a better shape economically and environmentally in the future. Reform of the outdated nuclear regulations has to be a priority, as does supporting renewables. For example, local power companies could be required to offer their customers solar panels. They can buy them in bulk, have other companies install them, make some money on them, and the local power companies can, since they're a monopoly, and have to do what the people want, they can be part of the game to fix all of this mess. And power is their game, so it should be their game already. Anyway, embracing technology to get out of this will play into America's greatest suit. We are technical people, we're scientific, this is kind of our game, and we're letting, anyway, we gotta get into the game here. Okay, natural gas should be used to generate electricity instead of the coal. Coal spreads lead and mercury far and wide. Both are neurotoxins. There's so much mercury in the ocean. that biomagnifies up the food chains. That pregnant women are advised not to eat fish more than about twice a week. Anyway, tar sands are terrible. They put several times as much carbon into the air as regular oil. They make sense politically, not for now. All of this stuff, coal mining, it all makes sense politically for right now, because he who burns the most fossil fuel wins, but biologically it doesn't make a lot of sense for the future as far as things being extinct. Anyway, oil is a remarkable organic compound. It is just cool stuff, and it's too valuable to be burned for fuel. It's irreplaceable for plastics, which we have to have for our research and for our medicine, and it should be recycled and kept out of the landfills as long as possible. Anyway, we want to hoard and stretch out the coal as long as possible. Natural gas can be used as our portable liquid fuel until something else comes up. Like UPS uses compressed natural gas, and some of the big trucks are starting to, even big rigs use natural gas, and some are even going electric. Electric cars should be on the should be available, and having an electric car parked in a garage with solar panels on the roof makes a lot of biological sense. Now, you're going to make a lot of jobs, you're going to lose a lot of jobs, you're going to make a lot of jobs. But but mass extinction has to kind of trump what's going to happen with the economy. And we've screwed up the economy in many different ways, so switching over to something, you're running out of the fossil fuels anyway, so you got to switch. So anyway, hopefully it won't be that hard of a sale to leave species not go extinct versus jobs. Anyway, people, I have a lot of faith in people. People are cool. They will buck up and come up with new products, and will endure a heck of a lot for their kids, for their offspring, I should say. Anyway, I know it's not popular or fair that the current population has to sacrifice jobs, lifestyle. You have to think about what you're buying and throwing away, and whether there's carbon involved and how much carbon. But like I used to tell my students, you're on the wrong planet for fair. So what I would like people to do is, what I should have done is ask their congressmen to cut the fossil fuel subsidies, that they don't really need them, they're sitting on the real wealth of the planet, and instead subsidize renewables like solar panels, and to support nuclear power. Thank you.